You're listening to the Edge 88.1. You're with Tony, and here today I have Coach Paja with us. Coach Paja, how are you doing today?
Doing well, Tony. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. So today we're here and we're going to talk about the impact of weightlifting on student athletes. Coach, can you tell us a bit more about you?
I guess my background, grew up in rural Illinois, kind of found my way out to Iowa, and I went to college at Central College in Pella, Iowa, did my undergrad degree in exercise science, strength and conditioning. From there, I interned at the University of Notre Dame and then went on to do my master's work in Minnesota Division II school, Southwest Minnesota State, and also served as the head strength and conditioning coach up there. And then from there, I went on to Detroit, Michigan, to another Division II institution, Wayne State University, and was the associate director of strength and conditioning, and then found my way here to the director of strength and conditioning for all sports at Grandview.
Okay, so doing all sport, like what we have, football, volleyball, soccer,
We have
wrestling.
right now 22, 23 sports, depending on some of the ones that are just kind of popping up. And as far as who uses the service or the outreach of strength and conditioning to better their sport and better their individual self.
Okay, so we're gonna try to focus on football for right now. So, what do you think about like weightlifting when it comes to football? Like, how important is it?
Strength and conditioning, especially when it comes to football, is becoming more and more, I think, almost vital. When you look at the game itself, it's not only a contact sport, but it's a high-impact sport. And there's things that are going on, and the equipment that's been, developed and kind of over time became more almost, nowadays it's almost looked at as like a weapon when you look at something like the helmet, and you look at the impact speeds of helmet-to-helmet collisions or even helmet-to-body or things like that, where the brain's flying around inside your skull, and there's things that, we can train to help strengthen the neck, and there's been studies that show that helping eliminate some of the prevention of concussions. And I don't think it's not a sport that's ever going to be eliminated with injuries, but knowing that injuries are going to happen, I think strength and conditioning can serve as a way of working on resiliency to injuries and understanding that things might happen, but hopefully we can prevent the ones that shouldn't happen, and the ones that do happen, we can help the athlete stay healthy through their rehab and keep their strength, power, speed, and those types of things. So when they are rehab back to full strength, we can take off, hit the ground running from there, and kind of get them right back into play. So I think to answer the question simply, strength and conditioning plays a huge important role in football and college athletics as far as improving sports performance, but more importantly, reducing any risks of injuries that we can eliminate, kind of that we see as far as deficiencies of the body.
Okay.
And balancing things out.
Okay, so talking about concussion, how do you guys handle it here? Like, do you have like a process when like a player is diagnostic with it? Like, how does it work? Because it's such a big issue for football, and I've been around schools that don't really mess with it. Like, they let players play through it and all that stuff. So how does it work here at Grandview?
Sure. Here at Grandview, our sports medicine staff, our head athletic trainer Luke Steele, and our other athletic trainer Travis Dibbett deal with football. But all of our incoming athletes will be screened and tested, and they do a baseline testing with the concussion protocol. And then if there's concussion-like symptoms found at practice or found on the playing field, during a game or a competition, the trainers will monitor on the field, and some of those signs will be tested, but then they'll probably most likely get held out if they're kind of acting goofy, or the trainers notice some of those signs.
Okay.
And then they're held out until, if they have headache or blurred vision or sensitivity to light, they'll be held out until those things subside, and then they actually have to pass their concussion testing with the computer, just measuring, reaction speed and things like that, just to make sure that everything is back up. And then even when they pass through those things, it's kind of a transition or a limited time back into play before you can go full speed.
Okay. Have you heard about the 3 Oregon football players that were hospitalized after a series of workouts in early January?
Yes.
What do you think about that? Like, do you think that weightlifting workouts can lead to serious injuries and like health issues related. Like,
Weightlifting can definitely lead to serious injury. When you're talking about massive amounts of weights being pushed around, you're looking at a lot of things that could happen. If it's done with a smart and scientific approach, a lot of that stuff is eliminated and, the guesswork is taken out, so to say. But it's a matter of having the appropriate amount of staff on the floor, as well as having the science and practice and the understanding of the knowledge behind the scenes being put into the programming, so that being coached on the floor, not just giving them a workout and saying, here's what you got to do, or making it more of like a militaristic environment where it's, something where there's a risk of somebody being hurt or pushed too far past their limits. But
okay.
with the situation at Oregon, there's been things like that have happened in the past with Rhabdo, and you look at,
Oregon,
CrossFit gyms, things like that.
Oregon is a Division I program, right?
Oregon's a Division I program. I actually know the head strength and conditioning coach
Okay.
out there, and it was more or less a freak thing. It wasn't anything.
That's kind of scary for like, I mean, Division I programs like the top programs in the state. So if it happens there, I'm concerned about like, I mean, probably can happen everywhere.
Oh, it can happen anywhere. And it's not necessarily something that is happening very commonly. It happens if you get somebody with not a very good education, not a lot of help, not a lot of guidance to the athlete, and they just want to kind of push.
Okay, I see. Well, thank you, Coach Paja, for giving us some time today. You're listening to the Age 88.1, and we're back to the music.